Okay, kind of like each week here, recapping a couple of thoughts. Offensively, 10 possessions. I think we scored 7 times on those 10. I did think, again, watching the tape, Aiden did a solid job completing passes, eyes up, smart with the ball, another good game running it. But in general, the run game, we got to get better, first and second down. You always credit to the opponent schematically, a couple of those, but we got to break a couple tackles, one-on-one with the safety occasionally. Misidentification took place too many times, and we're just not getting the type of movement we want to get, and so we got to improve on that in the run game. Defensively, I thought did a nice job of stopping the run. These guys were leading the country and running the ball, especially with the quarterback. His capabilities of running that, I did like that part, except on the long one, 66-yard play, I want to say. First of all, we're misaligned. Unique formation, give them some credit. We're misaligned. We don't got anyone in the B gap. We're not aligned correctly in the secondary. We got opportunity to at least get them down. Maybe it's gonna be a 30-yard play. We can't do that. So we gotta get better there. It was good to have Nakai Martinez back. Getting a taste of it. He played, maybe half of it. So it was great to see him out there. We do want to continue to improve though. Fourth down, third down. On that side. Special teams continues to be a positive. Obviously, the huge return from Omari. Do think the blocking on the thing, the decision-making on the punt return unit was critical. Martin had a solid game. Eckley only goes out there one time. That's usually a good thing. With that, recapping the game. Injury-wise, this was, kind of a couple tough ones. Luka Vincic will be a long-term injury. Probably won't see him the rest of the year, which is tough. Was battling in there. Alante actually, again, was pre-game injury, and that's going to be a longer-term injury as well. So he won't be around for a minute. Both Nick Marsh and Mekhi Frazier, we'll kind of see what it looks like at the end of the week. But those two are not anywhere near the other two in regards to the amount of time. 3-0 is where we wanted to be at. It has been great being at Spartans Stadium 3 straight weeks. Crowd, fan, definitely helped us get to this point. But the seasons are, and we transition. We got to go on the road for the first time, and we got a big-time opponent. Got respect for the program over there, historic, and you can talk about all 3 phases for this group. They challenge you in a lot of ways. Offensively, it's well noted statistically where they're at, how many points they're scoring. Quarterback can make all the throws. The scheme, Coach Riley, in regards to his scheme, make it tough. He is throwing it. Quarterback is throwing it to a couple good players that challenge you vertically in space, tough to tackle. They can run the ball. The backs that are carrying the thing get downhill and are physical. So that is a potent offense that will present challenges. I do think defensively, these guys are salty, got in the backfield a lot. It starts with their front 7. And that's just not 7 guys. They do a nice job, especially at D-line, rotating. You're getting multiple groups in there. It's not just 7 guys for the entire game. They got some depth and have created some real havoc of tackling in the backfield, sacks, so they present challenges kind of that way. And so we know it a great test. Long trip, night game, all those things that come with it with a really good opponent. And I know guys are going to need a great week of preparation to get ready for it. So with that, questions?
Jonathan, you guys obviously made the trip out to Oregon last year. Would you learn from that, and how do you change things for this one, go out there earlier, and just any sort of tweaks?
Yeah, we definitely learned from the year one. We did, last year's trip's quite different just because it was a short week, right? You're playing on Friday night. That's different than what we're doing here Saturday. Not just from our own experience. We try to talk around the league, teams that have traveled in multiple time zones, what they did, kind of what they experienced. So tweaks we're making. We're going to go out on Thursday, and again, this has been planned well before knowing a kickoff time and things, but go out Thursday, try to adjust for a day time zone wise, and the routine of what we do on Friday and Saturday is going to be pretty similar to what we do. We're just going to start a little bit later, let them sleep in on those 2 nights, and see where it goes.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about the injury situations too. Now that we get to this point in the year, you talk about next man up, but when you get to conference season, those nagging injuries, how do you try and prevent them? And obviously with the bye week coming the week after, is there an erring on the side of caution at all in some ways? Right.
It kind of starts with how much you're going to practice and go. And so, we talk about as a staff each week leading into it, And so I don't know if there's one size fits all for the entire team in regards to how much you can go out and work. I think it boils down a lot of times to the position coach, maybe counting his reps. That particular player's got some bumps and bruises, and he maybe be more in a limited fashion, understanding that the team still needs some work. And we do. We get a lot of work with column 2s, 3s throughout the week. It's not just all the starters getting all the work. But we got our eyes on that. Yeah, sure, we're headed toward a bye, and you got to put some preparation and thought into what that week looks like. But also understanding this will be our 4th straight game. Well, you went 5 straight weeks of camp, and so you're always adjusting what you think's best in your preparation.
Jonathan, you already talked about the routine of it, but from like a unofficial team building aspect, normally when it's a home game, the guys can go home afterwards and have their own personal day-to-day, but when you're together for that amount of time, long trip, can you give us some insight on what the team building aspect is like, or how you guys find more of a bond in that kind of experience?
Yeah, I guess one thing is pseudo unique because of the trip. We are headed on Thursday, go over there. I think a lot of this roster maybe, I say maybe, I didn't take roll on this, but you hadn't seen the Pacific Ocean. Where we're staying, we're landing at LAX. We're going to call it a half hour and be able to kind of see the Pacific Ocean. I do think a longer flight to spend a little time moving around. We're going to take that opportunity on Thursday. Not quite a totally team building event, but that's one thing we're doing that's different or unique.
The USC quarterback, Jaden Maeva, only had, I think, 2 offers coming out of high school. I know you were out west at the time, so I'm curious, how did that happen for a guy with his talent to only have a couple schools looking? And then for Aiden, how good of a test is going to be as a quarterback tool against a pretty good talent?
Yeah, I think both quarterbacks are talented. I think you do see it on occasion, right? Call it, the amount of offers, or this guy should have had more coming out and things. I think sometimes, too, it's just their own individual's development. It takes place, and call it year 1 as a true freshman. He's further ahead of the game and all this, but Jaden Maeva, this guy can play. I believe he started UNLV and then got himself over there. But he is a talented player, physical, willing runner too. I mean, I know statistically throwing the ball, he's accurate, and he's got some guys he's throwing it to, but he's a willing runner. He's going to pull the ball, especially in the red zone. He's a really good player.
Jonathan, last year, you're 3-0. You go play a tough road game at night, game 4. Nick isn't there. Had a lot of other injuries, lost a tough one. How is this year's team better able to prepare for that if you're minus some key guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this year, depth-wise, I do feel like we've made progressed, I'll call it. Learning experiences of every game from last year, just like the learning experience of the first 3 here. This is a challenging road environment, trip, and a really good team where depth's going to continue to matter. And that's not just to us. I mean, you look at this Big Ten Conference, every game. I don't know if anyone's sitting here after 3 games feeling awesome, and they got some mid-season healthy bumps and bruises. You got to have some depth, and I think we're in a better place than we were a year ago.
Jonathan, obviously you guys have played a pretty good offense in Boston College, I'd say, and a unique one last week. With this USC offense and their personnel and their scheme, what are a couple things for you that have defensive priorities that sort of have to happen to keep them in check and stop putting up some of these big numbers?
I mean, yeah, these numbers come, and their ability to be explosive, right? And so trying to limit those explosives is a big piece. I think tackling is going to be huge. They get the ball in space. They're good athletes, getting them on the ground. That's not down to just one-on-one tackling. We got to play with great effort and get guys on the ground and not turn it into deep explosive plays when they throw underneath or they hand the thing off, limiting those explosives. And then changing your looks on the quarterback. They do have a potent run game as well, but changing those looks of what he's seeing on the back end coverage-wise.
Jonathan, there are a lot of storylines coming into this game. I mean, it's first time since 1978 where Michigan State's playing at USC. Battle of 2 3-0 teams, Big Ten opener. Can you kind of explain what this game means, and not just you, but to the program as a whole?
Well, I think it definitely starts conference play. This is a new day and age in the Big Ten, the second year of the West Coast part, and so some of these traditions are starting that hadn't taken place, right? Gone over that far. I think it creates excitement. It's unique. I think it energizes the fan bases on both sides. That place is a historic spot. The Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. I mean, it's been around a while, Olympics, Jackie Robinson, the Dodgers are playing there. I mean, it's a cool venue, and so I think that all adds to the excitement of the game.
Yeah, following up on that, Michigan State's won 3 in a row against USC, but has never won in the Coliseum. You did 3 years ago. I think you put 45 up on them. What do you tell the players about that? And it can be kind of a circus.
Yeah, you know, I think, again, it still comes down to the game. We are going to prep. Anytime we go to a place, road game, we're going to give them a little bit of information, background on whatever, travel, the place, the setup, what the locker room's like. And there's similarities to Spartan Stadium. We're going to share a tunnel. We play on grass. It's pseudo bowl, just similar to Spartan Stadium. We'll talk through all of that. The deep history and things, I think it still comes down to the 60 minutes we're going to play, and we're going to have a huge emphasis on that.
A little bit along those lines as well. You're obviously from the Pasadena area. Aiden's from Long Beach. I'm wondering about just the trip back there. I mean, you've made it before, and I'm wondering what that is like to go back home and play there.
There's definitely, you know, Aiden in particular. I think we got a few guys, but Aiden in particular will have a lot of family, friends at the game, which is part of cool thing in college football. I'm excited about it. I mean, I made a trip in January watching our basketball team play the 2 LA schools, and we had a couple events of Spartans on the West Coast, Spartans in Southern California. I'm excited to see the contingent of green and white in the crowd.
Jonathan, you mentioned the idea of seeing what guys can do during the week, and you know, with Nick waiting till the end of the week. And are there certain players who, whether they've been around for a long time or what they bring to the team, and if they're good, they need to be able to do less during the week? In other words, you know, you'd love to have them practice, but if somebody's good on Friday, then they're good.
Yeah, 100%. Some of that's just kind of what they've proven before, knowing the guy. Oftentimes it's a veteran. He's gotten a lot of reps. Does he need a full week of practice? Those kind of things. And so it's really each individual basis on deciding on that. And so, yeah, I'm good if Nick Marsh, you know, he takes a whole limited week, but if he's cleared to go and play, you'll probably see him out there.
Closing things down on third down was kind of a point of emphasis in the offseason, and it seems to have had some progress. And then last week, I think Youngstown State had a few where they converted when you guys probably wanted to get a stop there. So I'm curious, what are the issues you're seeing on third down, and how do you sort of address those going into Big Ten play when that's kind of where you're going to make your money?
Yeah, but especially on third down, we looked at it third, kind of call it medium. We got to play tighter coverage, whether that comes from a lack of recognition of the down and distance, or a conference level. We did talk about that, contesting more on those downs to where we're making plays on the ball. Oftentimes in that distance, the ball's coming out quick and all of those things. So we want to contest more, some tighter coverage.
Jonathan, I'm wondering, as you go into Big Ten play now, would you anticipate the frequency of offensive line rotation continuing, or would that be dialed back? Of course, with Luka, you are limited now, so there's other factors. I'm just wondering, as a conference season, will that be the same as what we saw in the non-conference?
I don't think it'll be exactly the same. It begins to get lessened. I still see us rotating. We'll kind of see where it goes to the end of the week, but with Luka being out, you're not going to see as much at guard. But at the tackle spot, you might see some, but I think you'll recognize me a little bit less, is my anticipation this Saturday.
Just a little clarification on some of the injuries. Is there any lower body, upper body for Nick, Mackay, and the other guys?
Yeah, lower. All four of those guys, all lower. Yep. Guys, thank you.
A little more on the offensive line. Rustin Young got some reps. How's he coming along, and how's he looking there?
Yep, it was good to get him out there. He's got a skill set, athleticism. I think there was a little bit of a couple plays learning curve-wise. He needed to be on a better page, but I think that guy's got a bright future. Redshirt freshman, continues to work, and I thought he did some solid things on Saturday. We'll see what this coming Saturday kind of looks like on that rotation side, but was pleased with Rustin getting in.
And Analu Lafayette made a nice play at the very end of the game. How's he coming along with that
Yep.
role that he has?
Yeah, we think he's one of our better ones of rushing the passer, and so love to get him out there. He plays with great effort. He's contributing on special teams. He's part of that rotation in that position. I think we had another time 4 guys getting 10+ snaps, and so when he's in the game, I think he makes an impact. We like where he continues to trend.
One other thing. you know, some teams practice in the morning, some in the afternoon and so forth. When you make that decision to go in the morning, are you, in the back of your mind, are you concerned that television might give you a midnight game later in the year? And how, when you practice Thursday and walk through Friday or whatever out there, do you change the clock a little bit for the routine?
The routine of it, the Thursday, Friday, well, not totally Thursday, because we're going to practice again in the morning here. Friday, we'll bump it back a little bit. It is a larger question. You think about, you know, we playing more and more of these, the trend, more and more of these night games to consideration. I still think the value when we're going to get the best work done, and I still believe it's in the morning. We're not terribly early in the morning, so we're allowing for some sleep. I think we get the best work out of them. We wake them up. They still have opportunity to get to class. I mean, this is a whole kind of programmatic thought for the entire season, the body of the work, those kind of things. And so I can't, looking at, I don't even think we're allowed. We'd have to like petition to be able to practice at our kickoff time. They don't even allow you to practice anything past 10 p.m.
Do you seek from your coaching friends about taking a team west, and what's your biggest concern? Is it potential lethargy or the time change, or what is the biggest concern about traveling west?
You know, going west, obviously, you know, the wake up and the staying up late. I do think it, you know, Justin, these guys are night owls, right? I mean, so we're going to be up late and going. We'll let them sleep in for a couple of days and let it rip. They're going to be excited to play. It's going to be an awesome atmosphere. So we did talk about just the couple of nights to get a little bit of adjustment Thursday, Friday before the Saturday kick, and let's go let it rip. I don't know this for certain. I am looking at scores, you know, for East Coast teams kicking off at 7:30 Pacific. The win-loss record of that, I don't know if it's outstanding. I'm sure it's the vice versa too, with them dealing with it coming the other way, West Coast coming to the east.
Jonathan, two things following up on that. Michigan State hasn't won a game west of Boulder, Colorado since 1957. And when you think about some of the teams that have gone out there, have been pretty talented. But that's true for a lot of Big Ten teams, strong programs. Is there something that you as a coach can do about that, or is it just you got to play the guys you got and see what happens?
Well, yeah, we got to play. Again, we're going to give them some history. I don't know how deep, again, it still comes down to us in those 60 minutes. I think you do present some of the challenges that we want to prepare for, like this time change and the hydration of it and the sleep pattern, that we put together a plan. Our dietitians presented to the team yesterday and some proactive things we can do. So we are taking some steps that way, give them a little of the history and reasons why this stuff is important. And then I still go back to, we're going to kick it off at 8 Pacific and let it rip.
One other big picture thing, you're the first Michigan State coach to start 3-0 back-to-back years. When you see, though, now around the country, it seems like patience is less than it has been. Somebody gets fired 3 games into second year. Does that change the way that coaches need to approach the job in 2025?
I think the job is just like college football. It's ever evolving, and the landscape continues to change and those things. It still comes down to, I don't know if it adds some urgency. I think about me, our staff. I mean, we're overly competitive, trying to, again, compete and win all the time. I don't know if that's really changed our thinking anyway. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.